Welcome to the Unit 3 Day 11 video where we are going to write systems of linear equations from tables and graphs and from a written description. Let's say that I was given this picture that had two lines graphed on the same coordinate plane, and I wanted to write the two equations, one for each line, that make up the two lines. Well, let's make the first equation the red equation, okay? So I'm going to make that one the red equation. And I'll make this one the blue equation, the other one. So the first line that I've identified as red, the first thing I want to do is find the slope of the red line. And the way that I find the slope of the red line is to find points that are right on the grid, like this, and then just count the slope, the rise over the run. So I want to find out how much that I go up divided by how much that I go right. It looks like my slope in this case would be 1 rise and 1 run. So my slope is 1, okay, for the red line. Now to find the y-intercept, sometimes you'll be lucky and you can just see it on the graph. You can see that the y-intercept is 0, -4. However, we'll see that on the blue line that we won't be so lucky. But once I have the slope and the y-intercept, I can write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept value, the y value of the y-intercept value. Now let's try the blue line. Well, let's find the slope of the blue line. Well, I first have to find a point that's on the grid. Here's one. I find another point that's on the grid. Here's another. And I count the rise, which is negative because I went down, so -3 and 1 over. So my slope is -3 divided by 1. And my y-intercept, you could see I cannot tell where the graph will touch the y-intercept. So I have to use the technique I used last chapter, y equals mx plus b. I know that m is -3, but I do not know what the b value is. So then I take any point I want, like this one, and I use an ordered pair x and y to find the b. So the point that I have up here, let's make it purple, this purple point, I will substitute in the values x and y into the equation. So that point is at 2, 0, or 2, 0, and then I try to solve for b. Looks like b is going to be 6. So my y-intercept is 0, 6, and that should make sense. Yes. So then the line over here is y equals -3x plus 6. And there's the two equations of the line. And so therefore now I have the system of linear equations, which would be y equals x minus 3, sorry, not -3, -4. That's the red line. X minus 4, and the blue line is y equals -3x plus 6. And I know that there's one solution where the two lines intersect. Let's try it again. Alright, I'm going to identify the lines. Let's make this one orange, and we'll make the other one green. So in the orange line, you could say that the slope of that line, find a point where it intersects, here we go, another point there, looks like the slope is +2 with the rise, and I go over 3, so the slope is 2/3. And the y-intercept, well, again, we can see it, but it's hard to tell what it actually is. So I have to use algebra, and I need to find a point to plug in for x and y to solve for b. So I'm going to identify the point, and let's use this one. That one looks pretty easy. 5, 0. So I'll put 0 in for y, 5 in for x. And now I have to solve for b. 2/3 times 5 plus b. So 0 equals 10 over 3. Because remember 5 is over 1. I go top times top, bottom times bottom. So b is -10/3, which if you don't like decimals would have been -3.3 repeating, which makes sense, -3.3. So my orange line is y equals 2/3 x minus 10/3. Now let's do the green line. So the green line, what's the slope? Looks like it's negative. Let's count from here to another point. It looks like I go down 1, 2, 3, 4. That's -4 down. That's my rise. And I run 2. Okay, so I have a slope of -2. And you could have picked this point as well, and that would have been an easier point probably to find the slope. Y-intercept, I can't see it, so I need to solve for the y-intercept. So I know that y equals -2x plus some value of b. Let's pick a point. I'm going to pick this one here. And that ordered pair is going to be 3, 0. So I'll put 0 in for y, 3 in for x, and I'll solve for b. Looks like b is going to be 6. So I have 0, 6 is my y-intercept, so the line is y equals -2x plus 6. And there's my system of linear equations from a graph. Now from a table, it's a little bit more difficult. From a table, what we have to do is, again, just pick two of the points, here and here we'll say. So we have -2, -3 for one point, and the other point is 0, -1. And remember, these are x's and these are y's. And I want to find the slope. So the slope, in this case, would be y minus y, and then x minus x. That's the rise over the run. Well, I have -1 minus a -3, and I have 0 minus a -2. -1 minus -3, 0 minus -2. -1 minus a -3, well, that's adding the opposite, so I get +2 over +2. The slope is 1. Now, what's the y-intercept? Well, y equals 1x plus b. Let's use a point and plug it in. We'll use the point 0, 1. Sorry, 0, -1. So -1 is y. So we're using this point. Sorry, this point. -1, 0 for x. And I have 1 times 0 plus b. So I have 0 plus b equals -1. So b equals -1. So the first table has the equation y equals x minus 1, because it has a slope of 1 and a y-intercept of -1. All right, let's find the slope of the second table, and again, pick 2 points. I'm going to pick 2 positive points because I like positive numbers. And we'll do y minus y, x minus x. So I will do, the 2 ordered pairs are 5, 9, and 7, 13. And so I again will go 13 minus 9 over 7 minus 5. That's 4 over 2. That's 2. So I have a slope of 2. All right, now I need to find the y-intercept. Y equals 2x plus b. We'll put an ordered pair in there for x and y. So I'm going to use the point 5, 9, 9, and 5 for x and for y. So I have 9 equals 10 plus b. So b equals -1. So my second line would be y equals 2x minus 1. So there are my two equations. I have y equals x minus 1 and y equals 2x minus 1. There you have it. All right. Finally, let's say that you went to a Vikings game down in Minneapolis. A customer pays $22 for 3 hot dogs and 1 drink. Another customer pays $38 for 5 hot dogs and 2 drinks. Write a system of equations that you can use to find the cost H of 1 hot dog and the cost D of 1 drink. Well, in the first one, a customer pays $22, okay? And what does $22 get me? That gets me 3 hot dogs plus 1 drink. And then in the second situation, he pays $38, or she pays $38. How much does that get me? 5 hot dogs and 2 drinks. And that's the system of equations. It's that easy. It doesn't say that you need to solve it. You don't need to find out what it is, but that's all you need to do. Thanks for watching.